Let's be honest, saying hard things at work isn't easy. Maybe you would need to give a teammate feedback, disagree with your manager, or bring up a sensitive issue. And suddenly, your heart races, your palms sweat, and you start wondering, how do I say this without sounding rude or getting misunderstood? Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we are considering 5 ways to say hard things professionally so you can be clear, confident, and kind even when the conversation gets tough. Now, why does this even matter? The hard things are hard because there are no easy answers or recipes. They are hard because your emotions are at odds with your logic, and they are hard because you don't know the answer. That's Ben Horowitz, and he makes a very strong point. In today's workspace, communication skills matter just as much as technical skills. So, whether you're in a team or an intern or an entrepreneur, being able to say difficult things the right way can help you build trust, avoid conflict, and earn respect. Because most workplace tension isn't about what is said, it's how it is said. And being able to avoid, and unfortunately, if you try and avoid those tough conversations, it builds resentment, it builds burnout, because there are certain things that have to be talked about. Learning to communicate truth professionally builds respect and trust. And the last point here on why saying hard things matters is regularly facing and speaking about difficult subjects builds mental fortitude. It helps you to build your mental game because you're able to say, I can face a difficult subject matter and handle it professionally. Now, in a modern workspace context, hybrid and remote work makes tone easy to misread. Sometimes a text message or an email or whatever the case may be, you're on a video conference call with someone, it's very easy to misinterpret and misread what the other person is saying, especially when it comes to having difficult conversations. Professionals who communicate clearly get noticed for leadership roles. So, let's break down what skills you need to master. First, start with clarity, not emotion. Know what you want to say. Before jumping into a tough conversation, take a moment to get clear on what you actually want to say. What's the real issue? What do I want to achieve from this? You need to ask yourself all those different questions. Identify the outcome you want, not just your emotion, because it's important to note you are not going to stand against a person. You want to stand collectively with that person against an issue. Your confrontation is on the grounds of the issue, not the individual. So you can say, I like to talk about so and so. Can we revisit this issue? Whatever the case may be, you need to get clarity on what you want to say. Now, you need to also use I statements. It's very important. Take ownership of your words. This is one of the easiest ways to stay calm. You statements can sound blaming, like you never meet deadlines. That immediately puts somebody on the defensive. So you need to avoid saying, oh, you always, or you never, or you did, or you didn't. That immediately puts somebody on edge. Say instead, I've noticed, or I feel. Perhaps you say, I've noticed the last few deadlines were tough to meet, and it's affecting the project's timeline. That helps you express your perspective and focus on the facts and not just on blame. The third point is to be honest but empathetic. Professionalism isn't about being robotic, it's about being respectfully honest. You need to balance truth with kindness. Directness and empathy equals effective communication. So you can try doing this. I respect your efforts, but I think, going back to the I statements, I think we, not you, we can improve by doing this. People respond better to respect than just critics. When people feel they're respected, they are more willing to listen and less likely to get defensive. Tip 4 is to prepare but don't over rehearse. We have started with knowing exactly what you want to say. Yes, sometimes we get so anxious about saying the hard things that we over rehearse. Preparation is great, but don't memorize every line. That makes you sound stiff and overly scripted. Instead, just plan a few key points. Sound natural and, as much as possible, ask the other person's perspective or opinion. Say, what do you think about this? Here's how I see it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts too. That keeps the conversation two ways and collaborative. The five, is to end with next steps. You need to make sure you close the loop positively. Once you've said your piece, don't leave things hanging in tension. Summarize what's been discussed and outline what happens next. Try saying, so, to make sure we're on the same page, here's what we'll do moving forward. Or you could say, let's decide how to move forward. You need to make sure you clarify the actions or agreements. What did you two or what did your group eventually decide on doing? That's very, very important to make sure you close that loop and don't just leave things open-ended. Now, to recap, 5 ways to say hard things. Start with clarity, use I statements, be honest but empathetic, prepare but don't over-rehearse, and end with next steps. Mastering these 5 skills helps you communicate hard truth without harming relationships or your reputation. Now, here's the final message on this. Tough conversations are opportunities for growth. They are ways to both grow not just yourself and not just your relationship with the team or the individuals, but also to build your relationships with your company as a whole structure. Confidence plus communication equals communication power. Confidence plus compassion equals communication power. Remember, saying hard things doesn't make you difficult, it makes you courageous. The goal is isn't to avoid the goal is not to avoid uncomfortable conversations. It's to have them with clarity, empathy, and confidence. So the next time you need to address something tough, take a breath, stay calm, and speak your truth with professionalism. Speak up with intention, not emotion. So, these are the next steps for you. Step 1, comment down below what's the hardest conversation you've had at work. Step 2, subscribe for more mental health and professional growth videos. Leave a like and share with a coworker or a friend. And to get your customized personal growth plan, please check the link in the bio. And thank you so much for showing up for this video. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.
Okay, let's go.